Hi guys, Ian here, and this is the Simgot Supermix 5. It is a matrix hybrid IEM consisting of one bone conducting driver, one dynamic driver, two balance armatures, and one microplanar driver. The retail price for this is just $219 and if you're interested to find out more, do check out the unaffiliated link down in the description below. Now, I've been testing this for about 2 weeks now, and I'm here to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions about this Supermix 5. So let's begin. First, with the accessories. This is the retail box that it comes in. At the back here, there's a graph, and also some information. Let me read that out to you. The impedance is 19 ohms, sensitivity is 120, and the frequency range is 8 to 40,000 hertz. Now, inside the box, you'll get a user guide and warranty card, and then you get this very hard shell case. I think it's synthetic leather with the Simgot logo embossed on it. So you definitely will get your IEMs protected if you use this case. And then you get a whole bunch of ear tips, two different types, and at small, medium, and large size. I think the red one or the orange one is a little bit narrower. So if you want a little bit more bass boost, you can use the orange one or use the black one if you want something more balanced. Both of which are very well built. The quality is really good. It's upgraded. Even though it's stock, but it feels very premium. And then the cable, you get a 4-core cable with interchangeable termination. So if you want to swap between 3.5mm and 4.4mm, you could. All you need to do, just unscrew this and then just unplug it and then plug in the 4.4 or the 3.5 that you want. Just match up the 4 holes with the arrow. I think there's an arrow somewhere around here. Let me just do this. Okay, and once it's done, just screw it back and that's it. Okay, and then it's a 4-core cable with a velcro strap, chin slider is a little bit on the stiffer side, and then you have the ear hooks, which is very nice and soft, and it's terminated with a 2-pin connector. Okay, so that's the cable. Overall, it's an upgraded cable for the price it's asking for. This is a very good quality cable. Now, in terms of the IEM, let's talk about the design and build quality. I would say it's a mid-size IEM with a metal faceplate and a resin inner shell. It's not on the chunky side, but it's quite big. It does jut out from my ears a little bit. Okay, but in order to maintain the stability of the IEM in the ear, they do have this very ergonomic shape on the inner ear with a fin to hold the IEM in position. The nozzle is made of metal with metal perforated filter. Okay, and overall, in terms of the design, I would say it's alright. It looks very decent and very elegant. But it does not look or feel cheap. Alright, so let's talk about fit and comfort. And I would say it's the same as their previous hybrids. It's got a slightly longer nozzle, but it's generally secure and it fits my ear. And it's very suitable for long listening sessions. Doesn't feel tiring, it's not fatiguing, there's no sharp edges. Overall, I would say it's very comfortable to wear. And the seal, they give a very good seal with the fit. Okay, and overall, not much movement. And overall, it fits my ear. And there's no major pressure points, does not press against my ear or any discomfort, and it's pretty fair, pretty good in terms of fit and comfort. Alright, so let's now talk about the sound of this Supermix 5. First, let's talk about the tone and timbre. And I would say the tone and timbre for this is about neutral with a little bit of bass boost. Alright, the bass is not too much. And I would say it's alright. Overall, pretty balanced to a neutral sound. Okay, the dynamic driver and bone conduction element combines to give the weight and the fullness to the lower frequencies, while the balance armatures and the planar handles the mids and the treble, which gives it the clarity without the harshness. So overall, you get a little bit of warmth, a little bit of clarity up top in terms of mixture. So I would say the bass notes have good weight, good depth. The mids carry the instruments and vocals with pretty decent weight, okay, and treble remains pretty controlled, delivering air and clarity rather than thinness or excessive sizzle because of the warmer lower end. Well, I wouldn't say this is fun, but it leans towards more of a balanced realism with some bass enhancement, which is a mix that works for both laid-back listeners and maybe more analytical listeners. Now, in terms of technical performance, I would say the Supermix 5 delivers better than expected performance for the price that it's asking for, and the combination of the drivers, it pays off, right? I mean, it's got one dynamic driver, one balance armature, two balance armature, one microplanar, and a bone conductor driver, and overall this combination gives it a very good standing for the technical performance. The soundstage is wide, is deep, is very respectable kind of soundstage with a lot of headroom and sound separation, and instruments and vocals, they occupy their own distinct position. Imaging and instrument separations, they benefit very well from the balance armatures, planar and dynamic driver combination. Complex mixes, they are really good because the sound separation is making complex mixes sound really very good, and subtle ambient cues, like for example in orchestral tracks or acoustic tracks, they show up really well. And the resolution on this is sharp, and it's sharper than most hybrid IEMs that I've tried. The microplanar and the balance armatures brings out the finer textures and the micro details, which makes acoustic guitars, pianos, strings, synth pads reveal more of the inner details, and which is very helpful for critical listening or genres with denser layering. So I would say in terms of technical performance, the Supermix 5 punches well above its price point, and I would say it shines in the detail retrieval, imaging, layering, and the overall clarity of the sound. Alright, so let's now talk about the sound signature. I'll post my graph somewhere up here. Okay, so for the sub bass is deep, it's very extended, and all thanks to the bone conducting driver. The rumble gives a good bass heavy feel to the track, especially in electronic or synthesizer tracks, even in orchestral or cinematic music. It gives this type of genre of music a strong foundation. But I mean, having said that, the sub bass doesn't dominate the overall listening experience unless you want to add more bass to it. But by default, it adds weight to the presence of your track, but it doesn't overwhelm it overall. Now, in terms of the mid bass, it's present, but it's quite tight and controlled. It's not boomy, it's not bloated. So kick drums and bass guitars have good punch and body, but they don't feel muddy, and they don't bleed into the mids. The low mids stay very clean, though in more complex mixes, the head banging might focus more on the bass and the treble before the rest of the mids settles in. Now, in terms of the mid-range, I would say is even and pretty natural sounding. Vocals, both male and female, have good presence with a solid tonal balance and a realistic timbre. The instruments like guitars, pianos, strings, they've got good texture and it sounds airy. But that's it. Because of the slight bass lift, the lower mids can feel a little bit more fuller, a bit more warmer, which is slightly reduces the mid-range airiness. But it's quite rare. Depends on the track. in my opinion. Now, in terms of the pinna gain and the upper mids, there is a subtle upper mid presence, which is enough to keep the vocals and lead instruments clearly defined without sounding too forward or too shouty. The overall tuning feels quite intentional. It's clear, but it's not aggressive to a point whereby it's uncomfortable. Now, let's talk about the treble. Treble is pretty smooth, it's clean, it's pretty restrained as well. Cymbals, hi-hats, orchestral percussions, and other high-frequency details have enough sparkle, I would say, and also the extension and airiness, but there's no harshness. For people sensitive to sibilance or bright sound, the Supermix 5 treble is really controlled if you look at the graph. But on the other hand, for those who are treble heads, this treble may sound a bit too conservative and less exaggerated. It's a bit more balanced and I would say dark, okay, which some may find less exciting. Alright, so that's the overall sound signature. Let's conclude. And for the Simgot Supermix 5, I regard it as one of the more serious mid-fi hybrid IEMs available. Now, this is a sensible evolution for Simgot beyond their previous iterations. It's a 5-driver matrix, which is very ambitious, and in my opinion, it delivers reliably on clarity, detail, and tonal balance without falling into the traps of overhyped special effects or party trick kind of IEM. Yeah, so if you value an IEM with a bass foundation that reaches very deep without the bloat, or you are looking for mids that stay neutral and full-bodied, or a treble that's detailed but not fatiguing, and an IEM that has got great technical performance, then the Supermix 5 is a strong contender. For under $220, you get a versatile, balanced, and musically honest IEM that works both for everyday use and also more analytical listening sessions. So if you're looking for, well, do everything kind of a universal IEM, with some ambition, this would be a strong recommendation from me. Alright, so that's my overall thoughts and opinions about this Simgot Supermix 5. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. My name's Ian, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.